Good morning, everybody. It's Lane again. This will be a quick video before my next video, just kind of an origin story, like an episode 0. And what I wanted to do was kind of go through my history with the company, let everybody know how I started, when I started, and how things are going. So when I started, it was 1998, and I started in the visual department. That's the 90s. That's 23 years ago. So nearly half my entire life. I'm 51 years old now. I started here when I was in my 20s. So let's just say that I've given the best part of my life to the company. And it was a great company to do that for. I worked in visual, as I said. Started off proud to work here. I was financially compensated very well. I was happy. Could buy my first house. It was great. And in visual, I proved myself by problem solving, having a good eye for spatial awareness, and basically just efficiency in my work. And I've done hundreds of windows, hundreds of vignettes, thousands of mannequins, mannequin groupings, wall placements, everything. I've done it all. And I've proved myself as worthy to go to Fashion Week. And I went to Fashion Week in New York City to set up for the events there 5 times. So I'm kind of proud of that. And then after that, I went to 4 store openings. So they would send visual people from all over the country, the best of them, to go set up, do the windows, place the fixtures, place the mannequin groupings, lighting, even set up for the gala the night before the opening. So it was a big deal. Went to 4 of those because I did them well. So in that time, right after that, I got All-Star. And as you know, All-Star for support happens only 4 times a year. So it's kind of a big deal. And I feel like I earned it. And then shortly after that, visual became kind of a young person's game. And I slipped from visual over to sales. And I worked for Chris. He's a great guy. Still fully dedicated. And I worked in sales with him for about 3 years. And when I was in sales with him, I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It's an autoimmune disorder. And I didn't know what it was until I got it myself. But I have it in my lungs, and I have it in my eyes. Who knew? That might be why I need reading glasses now. And also, when I was in sales, I had my wife gave birth to our daughter, and that was 13 years ago. So she's seen me with the company. After sales in sportswear, I went over to shoes, and I gotta tell you, it's tough being a shoe salesman. It's pretty shoe dog out there. But I do have respect for this, guys, but it's hard. I'm not really a good salesperson. Like people, hate shilling. So after sales, I said, you know what? I'm gonna go work in shoe stock because I need a little physical, activity there, because I feel like sales can be a little stagnant sometime. I need a set schedule. And I need a set paycheck. It's just so hard to budget for anything when you're in sales. You don't know what your paycheck's going to be. So went to shoe stock. And so that's when I feel like somewhere between the late 90s and the late 20s or the early 20s, I feel like the company's kind of let me down, let themselves down, let the customers down. The vision we had, again, it was a cathedral to fashion. It was fantastic here. The dedication of the people, it was immaculate. And now I feel like it's more of like a warehouse to consumerism. And I feel like we're not offering anything that they couldn't get from another company. And it's kind of sad. I've watched the communications team go. We used to have a human being answer the phone every time. Now that room is empty. I've watched the customer service department being taken away, which is amazing to me because this is a customer service-based company. I've watched housekeeping be outsourced. I've watched human resources is not here in the building. There's no human I can talk to about anything. They say just look online. And all these changes, we lost Michael the piano player, the concierge, all these little details that made us special are just slowly vanished. And with that, I feel like the workload has kind of risen. So with that, I made a little chart. Let's take a look at this, shall we? All right. So I don't know if you can see this chart here. Hopefully it's not backwards. But anyway, this is the time frame we have. So this is the time I was in visual. This is the time I was in sales. This is the time I was in stock. And again, this is going to be very rough because I'm not sure. I don't know the numbers, but I do know that if a company doesn't profit steadily over years, the company will just cease to exist. So we'll just assume that the profits line, this blue one, has been steadily, slowly increasing. This black line is my work or dedication. So I've been fairly dedicated and shown an increasing level of hard work until I reach sales, kind of plateaued. The amount of hard physical labor stays about the same. You know, I got back in stock, things just went back up, and they keep increasing every single year. With that, we're going to get to my financial compensation line. So again, when I was making the same amount of money, I was making X dollars in visual, and I quickly grandfathered because they found out that I was worth it. Stayed that, haven't had a raise for a decade. Went to sales. Since there is no raise, you basically just work commission. You don't know what your paycheck's going to be. You have no idea what it's going to be. But when I started in sales stock, I did find out that I had to take a little bit of a pay cut from what I was making in visual. So I'm now making 75 cents less. So here it is 24 years later, and I'm making less money now than I did in 1998. Okay. So that wouldn't be a real big problem. It's kind of a problem because the price of gas goes up. I'm on my third mortgage now. Third house, not third mortgage. And the amount of work I've been putting in has been steadily increasing along with the profits. I feel like I'm working harder now than I've ever worked before. But the financial compensation line is not showing that. So I feel like it reaches a point at some point where I have to say to myself, at what point do I have to, am I allowed to stop beating myself up physically and abusing myself for a company that is not compensating me thusly? I should also have a fourth line on that chart that shows the amount of support, interdepartmental and outer-departmental. So support that I would get outside the department. That line would be going down as well. So this is me standing up for myself. This is me saying, you've gotten my blood, sweat, and tears for decades, and now you're just going to get my blood and my sweat. You're not going to get my tears. I'm going to come in, I'm going to do the best, most efficient work that I can do, but at the end of the day, I'm clocking out, and I'm going home, and I'll come back tomorrow. Some days I might come in a little bit late because waking up at 4 a.m. can be kind of brutal. Working this physical job, and just every day is leg day here. Every day. It's physically hard. And to have to come in, and there's work from yesterday that's in front of work from the day before that, in front of work the day before that, and it seems to be never ending. So I care about this company. I love this company. And I've been a team player for 2 decades. And at some point, I just have to say, I'm on the team too. When is the team going to play for me? I've been worth it. I've earned it. You know, I don't mind putting in the hard work, but show me that I'm worth it. Let me know that what I've done is worthy of praise, of a livable wage. It's not too much to ask. So, you know, for the time being, for as long as I'm going to be here, I'm going to work as efficiently as I can. And in that time frame, part of efficiency might be me taking a little bit of a break because it's fatiguing. It's hard to work out here. So I'm just still looking out for the company, but I got to let them know the way things are deteriorating around here. I got to look out for myself too. And number one, physically. Number two, I got to look after my family. And if I'm destroyed, if my joints are broken, I can't do that for them. So make of that what you will.